I speak today as the outgoing Chief Justice of Malaysia. My colleagues and I have, in at least one part of our judicial careers, faced these challenges. Additionally, as Chief Justice, I have carried the burden, image, and overall responsibilities of the judiciary for almost 6 years. And what a task it has been, one that I do not envy the next person who should carry it. As Chief Justice, I have been criticized, vilified, been labeled un-Islamic or an enemy of Islam. My husband, unfairly so, has been used against me in some applications to not only have me recused, but more generally, to embarrass me and my colleagues. None of them have or ever will pass the test of my conscience, and praise be to Allah, I have not once lost sleep over these comments. As mentioned earlier, Parliament and the state legislatures are the creations of the Constitution, and their powers of legislation are circumscribed by the 9th schedule. Apart from what is contained in the concurrent list, the Constitution is more than clear that absent certain circumstances that were inapplicable in those cases, Parliament or state legislature cannot make laws on matters that fall within the purview of the other. In all those decided cases, the simple and straightforward question was whether the state legislatures in those cases were empowered to make certain criminal laws. It was found, as has always been the case, that only Parliament can make criminal laws of a general nature to be applied to all citizens. The states in those cases justified those laws on the ground that they only made those laws in respect of Muslims in those states. Upon an analysis of the pith and substance of those laws, the Federal Court agreed in all those cases that the laws in question, not all in Alin, were not only applicable to Muslims in principle, but pertained to general criminal laws. On this basis, and consonant with Article 4, Clause 1 of the Federal Constitution, the Federal Court did its duty by striking down those laws for being in excess of the powers of the state legislatures to make those laws, and which powers rightfully belong to Parliament. That is all it was. Yet, you would invariably have seen that some parties spun those decisions to appear as if the judiciary or some judges within it, including me, are anti-Islam. Some even question my faith as a Muslim. I woke up every day praying and hoping that the most beneficent and most merciful Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepts my ibadah and deeds. It is not for me to question the faith of others because, in the first place, I will never know until the day of reckoning whether Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has accepted my own. And so, I will not bring myself to stoop down the level of these scurrilous attacks, and instead, my only response to them is this one rhetorical question. For those of you who have the time to question the faith of others, are you confident enough that Allah, as the sole judge, has accepted your own ibadah and deeds, such that you have now been ordained the standing to question mine and of others? I stand firmly by what it is I do as a judge and Chief Justice, and I will continue to believe in what is right. The spin doctors, naysayers, and critics can say what they will and turn something noble into a purported vilification of Islam. But in the end, I hold dearly to the dictates of Allah as per the Holy Quran. O you who believe, stand out firmly for justice as witnesses to Allah, even as against yourselves or your parents or your kin, and whether it be against rich or poor, for Allah can best protect both. Follow not the lusts of your hearts, lest you swerve, and if you distort justice or decline to do justice, verily Allah is well acquainted with all that you do. Chapter 4, verse 135.